はい、皆さん、こんにちは。私のチャンネルへようこそ。Hello and welcome to my holiday. I've just had the most fabulous Sado session and I'm now sitting in Ginza looking out onto the street below in a very lovely cafe with a gorgeous latte, and I thought I would just chat to you guys and update you on something that I want to share today. Having just come from a beautiful Sado ceremony and feeling really refreshed and calm, and also wearing this lovely kimono, I wanted to express the top 5 things about Japanese culture that I absolutely love. These are my favorite things about Japanese culture right now, although the more I'm immersed into Japanese culture and the more that I learn, I think this list will perhaps develop or change or maybe even grow. So please enjoy these points and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section as to what kind of things you like about Japanese culture. You very well may be teaching me about something that I don't even know, or teaching me something that I know but something more in depth about this concept that I am familiar with but don't know so well. So do leave your comments. I'm always grateful to hear your stories and advice. So, 始めましょう。最初にコーヒー飲みたい。いいですね。美味しい。そして、my top 5 points about Japanese culture, and we're going to start where I've just left off and start with Sado. I think there's something within Sado itself, this activity of tea ceremony that extends across all of the Japanese do. It's something that keeps you physically busy, and it simultaneously makes your mind both very, very calm yet occupied. It's a little bit like the sea. You know how the sea is just like really busy and always changing, but yet so calming, you know, at the same time. It's that beautiful mix, and I do feel that Sado and the many other do have this beautiful combination of calm yet many steps, or a perfect form. I've personally become very attached to Sado, and my tea ceremony moments are definitely those of just forgetting the outside world and coming into this beautiful, traditional, safe space, yet at the same time learning. You know, I take my lessons in Japanese, and I am learning about all these objects and the Japanese traditional way. So it's really fantastic, not just for my learning, but for my kokoro, and to experience something that I don't really feel that we have in the West. It tends to be things to keep you busy or meditation, but there's nothing kind of in between. So Sado for me is a really sacred and precious ritual. And I do know certain family members of mine who have gotten into the martial art side of the do, and I have witnessed such a transformation in both their physical and mental health. So yeah, I really do think that the do has this very healing power. And if you're interested in watching my tea ceremony video from today, do check the link above here. The link will also be in the description box below. Yeah, I think the do, it's busy, but it makes a space. I've talked recently about the word yoyu, and I really feel that in the Japanese do. I feel that it gives you that space. It's like a deep breath, you know, and then once you've done it, you're kind of refreshed and you can go out into the world. The second point about Japanese culture, which I love, relates to food. And this is in the process of a meal. I noticed that in Japan, food is more like an experience and a process rather than just a form of fuel to eat and then continue with life. I have experienced several of these examples, one of which being just the other day when my husband and I went to an izakaya and we ate sazae, and It wasn't just a case of being given sazae, it was more about we had to cook it ourselves on the table. And sazae itself is, pretty small, not very calorific, but the whole process of grilling it and waiting for it to be ready and then checking if it's ready and kind of making it yourself, it made it so much more of an experience that actually after just one sazae, I felt like I'd been there for ages and I'd experienced so much. And similarly, if going to a very high-end sushi restaurant, it's this slow process of having one piece at a time and experiencing this almost like a mini meal in itself. I'm personally someone that really enjoys taking a very long time over dinner and perhaps not just having one big dish in front of me, but more the experience and the process of dining rather than just like eating the food itself. I no longer eat meat, but I think teppanyaki is similar, seeing the food being made in front of you and then, enjoying it. And it's just, I really feel that traditionally Japanese food understands that it's not just about your stomach, but it's about appearance, it's about a combination of flavors, and it's certainly about your eyes too. Another thing I like about Japanese culture is that tradition seems to be in the veins. Of course, I see a lot of Starbucks and McDonald's and overseas brands coming into Japan, which people enjoy from time to time, but there is an underlying, there is a root of tradition that I think many other countries have kind of lost in the attempt to be more modern and more up and coming. That's the beautiful thing about Japan, and particularly Tokyo, is that it's not outdated or anything, it's very modern, yet at the same time, people just innately seem to understand the beauty and importance of maintaining tradition deep in the soul of Japan. I love it when I see this mass of people crossing the road and the majority of people wearing suits or Western clothes, but there's just like one or two ladies wearing kimono. It makes me smile every time because I really feel like tradition is not forgotten and hopefully never will be. The next point relates more to the mentality of Japanese people that I've seen time and time again. And this is the collectivist mentality over the individualistic mentality. I would say that collectivist thinking can feel frustrating for foreigners because generally we're used to getting our own way, we're used to speaking out, we're a bit more me. And I think coming to Japan, you learn about how beautiful it is to be like, no, we. I think coming to Japan and experiencing this collectivist culture makes you can let go of your ego. You don't have to keep fighting to be unique or have your voice heard the loudest. It's more about respecting the people around you and the energies around you. That was something, that's definitely changed my life and my way of thinking. And whilst I can still be quite selfish, I love that there's the net of society is a collectivist net, and I do feel this is a massive generalization, but people in Japan are very nice and they don't think, I want that. They think, how would I feel if that was taken away? So for example, if you leave a phone or something precious on the table and then go away from the table for a short while and come back, the reason that it's there isn't because people don't think, oh, I want that. They think it maybe, but they don't act on it. They think, how would that person feel if it was missing? It's kind of sad actually that I have to tell people from Japan who go overseas that you can't leave your stuff when you go like to London, for example. You have to be careful of your belongings. And I just think, wouldn't it be wonderful if the whole world was just as considerate as Japan is? The last point that I really love about Japanese culture is the attitude towards healthcare. In my country, I think it's more about curing sicknesses once you have them. Whereas in Japan, I find that there are so many different treatments and therapies available for prevention. So, you know, prevention is better than cure. And by undergoing certain treatments, such as like massage or acupuncture, these kinds of things can prevent a whole host of illnesses. I sometimes tell my friends, you know, I'm going for an acupuncture session or a shiatsu session, and they are just like, wow, like amazed that this kind of service is available. Because in my country, we don't really have that so much. We have massage, and then I guess if you're sick, you go to the doctor, but we don't really have this in between. When I first came to Japan, people would say that they're going to the doctor for, like, it seemed like a lot, but then I realized that, like, your massage person is a doctor, and then your, like, Hari sensei is a doctor, and actually it's not that you're going repeatedly to the same doctor for a terrible health issue, you're just taking care of your health. So that was a really nice, well, it's a really nice environment to live in, the way that people think about their health, not on a nervous level, but just to maintain a good condition. I would also say that a lot of the healthcare treatments or anything to do with healthcare that I've experienced myself have been very calm. There's always some like gentle music playing, and I just love the way that the staff seem to understand that people want to stay calm in a potentially quite nerve-wracking situation. For me, I am not a fan of blood tests or anything really to do with like health tests. But I found that every time I've taken one, the staff are so gentle, they're so considerate, everything's so clean, and I just feel a deep sense of like, okay, I can relax, I can trust these people, and 99% of the time, it's all been perfect. So yeah, thank you Japan for your fantastic healthcare and also the mentality of prevention being better than cure. Well, I'm going to drink my latte now and stare out of the window, enjoying my life. But thank you so much for joining me today. Please do leave your comments, and until next time, Janet.